Hey, remote viewers. Welcome to this week's content. I want to talk to you about your gifts. Some of you have written to ask me a simple question. How can I use my gifts within the CRV structure? If someone is a tarot card reader or they use runes, maybe they read a crystal ball or do psychometry. Some people use out-of-body experiences to get information. And then there are those who do healing work. How can all of those things be incorporated into the CRV structure? Now, normally we wait until the advanced class to teach you how to incorporate these types of gifts into the CRV structure. But now that we have so many of you learning this, I want to share a really simple way that you can use other types of gifts and incorporate the information that you gain into the CRV structure. And you can even determine which methodology works best for you and compare the results. Would you like to hear how to do that? Okay, here's what you're going to do. Whatever you happen to be really good at, or something that you feel comfortable with, or maybe even something you're just playing with to see whether you can learn it. A lot of people like to try learning new things. Some people are reading books on how to read tarot cards, for example. Now, for those of you who say, look, Lori, I'm not into any of that. I just strictly want to learn the military method of controlled remote viewing, and I'm not interested in the woo-woo stuff. I totally get it, and that's fine. So you might want to skip this one because this one might not be for you. But if you are one of those people who are involved, for example, in CE5, the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, or if you happen to be someone who does do intuitive consultations for people, then you're going to want to pay attention to this video. So I'm going to show you a really easy way that you can use whatever you're experimenting with, whatever you happen to be learning, or whatever you happen to be really good at, and you can incorporate your results into the CRV structure. And here's how you're going to do it. So you begin your session. You go through the usual steps that I've taught you, doing the administrative section, your phase 1 work, your phase 2 work, having your aesthetic impact, and then your phase 3 work. Somewhere along the line, as you feel that you're getting pretty good sight contact, if you feel an urge or just a curiosity to now try a different method, what I'd like for you to do is to make a note off to the right side of your paper. So let's say that I am a tarot card reader, and it's now, I've been doing my session for maybe 10 minutes, and I decide I want to read the tarot cards about the target. I have no idea what the target is, but I decide I'm just going to see what happens if I pull out my tarot cards and see what they say about the target. The key to everything in remote viewing is documentation. Because if you just close your eyes and you remote view something with your eyes closed and you never write anything down, then later you might say, oh, I had this amazing experience and I saw XYZ, but the bottom line is you don't have any proof because you don't have anything written down. So the key to CRV, or practical remote viewing, controlled remote viewing or practical remote viewing, it's really the same thing in the class that I'm teaching you. The key is to keep everything written down and keep really good records. Let's say it's 10 minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which would be 15:10 in military time. You're simply going to make a note off to the right side of your page. 15:10, I'm now going to do a tarot card reading about this target. Then you go ahead, you do the reading, keeping notes, and you incorporate all the information that you got from the tarot card reading back into your CRV structure, separating the nouns onto the right side of the page and putting your descriptors on the left. And when you've covered everything that you got during the tarot card reading, you'll then put the new time. Let's say now that it's 15:55. You say it's 15:55. I've completed writing down and collecting the information from the tarot cards. Now I'm going back into my CRV session. Now, of course, you could always take a break at that point and resume the next day. but you're resuming back into your CRV technique. Then, when you do your summary, you want to be sure and note, here's the information that I got from my CRV session using strict CRV structure. Here's the information I got from my tarot card session. And that way you have both things separated yet part of one session transcript. Later, when you get your feedback, you score the two sections separately, even though you end up with one final score. So let's say that with my tarot card reading, I got a 50% accuracy, and with my CRV session information, I had 70% accuracy. Well, I'm going to probably combine all those answers for one final score, but at least I know which part of my information provided me with more accurate content. Does that make sense? Let's go over that one more time. You're in your session, you break to go do another technique, whatever that technique is. It could be, as I mentioned, runes, tarot cards, crystal balls, out-of-body experience, psychometry, trance work, Akashic record work, whatever your particular leaning or experiment or practice, whatever it happens to be that you want to incorporate. You're going to make a very distinctive note on the right side of your paper, always moving down the page, right? So wherever you left off, you're now moving to the right and a little bit down. You make a note of the time and what technique you're now going to utilize. Whichever one of those techniques I mentioned, or maybe something I haven't even thought of. You're going to write down that you're moving now into a session using that technique, and you're clearly stating what the technique is. Then you go ahead and do whatever it is that you're doing, and you want to record those results and then take those results and incorporate them back into your CRV transcript so that the record of what you got during the runes or the tarot card reading or the trance or whatever it was gets documented within the transcript of your session. Then you're going to put the time that you stopped using that technique and resume time for going back into CRV. You may be taking a break between the two techniques, whatever you want to do. Just be sure that you document the start time and the resume time for everything you're doing. Then when you go to write your summary, you're going to go ahead and document all the information that you got in your CRV session and then make a clear note. And this is the information I got from my rune session or tarot card session or crystal ball session or out-of-body experience or trance or whatever it was. You document that. Now, when you go to score your session, you'll score everything. And then I'd like you to add up what you got from your CRV information and how you did on your accuracy. And then add up what you got from the other technique and document how you did on your accuracy. Once you've got everything tallied, you can tally it and add it all together and get one final score. But you now have the knowledge of which technique produced the most accurate information. So you can score them separately and then score the entire summary as a total. You can use CRV in combination with any technique that you desire. So if you happen to be one of my CE5 students, you can use the techniques that Dr. Greer has taught you, and you can document or record whatever information is coming to you utilizing the CE5 techniques. And you can also use regular structure of CRV to get information about the very same target. So you're working on one target with two techniques, and you simply document within your CRV structure, here's the information that I got from my CE5 session. And then you can document within your CRV session which information came from your CE5 session and which information came just doing regular strict CRV. You may not always have feedback from a CE5 session, although sometimes you do. You get great feedback. If you don't have feedback, then it's an esoteric target, and you simply have two sources of information. One source being your CE5 session and the other source being your regular CRV session. Once you've documented everything, then you'll start collecting a really good dossier or file folder full of your results from whatever technique you're using in combination with CRV. It ends up providing you with a really solid record and a great track record of what you're able to do. CRV, especially as you get into the deeper stages, intermediate and advanced stages, and even some of the post-advanced classes that I teach, you're going to find that it is quite the magic carpet that can take you much deeper than you imagined. Now, I've had some people, actually, I think it was just one person, who commented that CRV seems too structured and not an easy way to get XYZ types of information. But the truth is, if you just stick your toe in, you don't get the full experience. It would be like taking a couple of piano lessons and saying, this is totally worthless for learning to be a concert pianist. I wanted to be a concert pianist, and all I'm learning here is how to play scales. The first 3 phases take you only so far, and then when you get into intermediate and advanced, you go deeper and deeper. The longer you stick with anything, the more the portals are opening and the more you're learning how to connect with your target. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. This gives you a little deeper understanding of where you're going with CRV and even what you can begin doing right now in your practice if you like. I recommend that you don't make this combo thing a steady thing that you do in every session. It's better to do some sessions that are strictly CRV, some sessions that are strictly your other method, and then every now and then, maybe once a month or so, try a combo in the way that I just explained to you. Just make sure you document everything, especially your start and resume times, and then keep the information separate in your session summary so you know which method works best for you. Thanks so much, and be sure to join me next time.